typical female performer. That's me. So I definitely have got something that's akin to that. But it's not a sense of taking the crown and putting it on my head and saying, here I am, Maria Callas is reborn, or something like that. It's a kind of monster too. So I do it with a little blink in my eye. Because you know, as much as I hate that monster, I also have a great fondness for the monster that is the performing solo artist that I have chosen to become. There's a little humour in that, you know.
Beginning of her solo career, Annie Lennox is entering the domain of the diva and leaving behind a 10-year collaboration with Dave Stewart as the Eurythmics. They topped the charts for a decade with their passionate, intelligent pop. After a 2-year sabbatical, her new album Diva has Annie Lennox returning cautiously to the fray.
I realised after the record was finished that it was less defensive. You know, the songs, less abrasive, less angry, less bitter. And that perhaps I have become more complete through having my family now. You know, it's just a different kind of set of circumstances. And while I was touring all those years, I was perpetually moving from place to place and being in one hotel room. And it's very, very difficult to establish a life outside of that permanently impermanent situation, you know. And that caused some angst in my existence, you know, some difficulty. And ironically still does, because I'm so used to travelling that I find it hard to be in one spot. You know, I keep thinking, I'm supposed to be going to the airport soon. You know, I've been here long enough.
On her 2 years off, Lennox had a baby and wrote her new album. In April, she returned to her very public life at London's Wembley Stadium for an AIDS benefit show. A tribute to Queen's Freddie Mercury, Lennox sang a duet with David Bowie.
How did it feel going back onto a stage like that? It's been a while, has it not, since you've been in front of an audience? What were you feeling when you walked out there?
Absolutely fantastic. I felt really wonderful. The audience were there 100%, and the atmosphere was marvellous and supportive, and I just felt calm.
Annie Lennox is the only pop artist that can stand toe-to-toe with Bowie, the chameleon of rock. Using looks to suit music and mood, the only constant in their careers is change. Changing style, sound, even sex.
Well, if I'm going to have to live with terminology, which I have to, I don't mind chameleon, because at least it affords me the possibility to develop and progress. I'd rather have that label than a label that prevented me from change. Yeah, I've used my visual image, and I hope that I, in some way, have sort of changed some of the expected notions of how we should look, possibly. You know, I still like to look beautiful. I'm not going to deny that. I enjoy a beautiful photograph, but I think it's more how I feel internally rather than just the way I look that will determine whether or not there's a future for me in music, you know, this industry that is so disposable anyway.
When I start to try to tell you, that's when you have to tell me, hey, this kind of trouble's only just begun.
While Lennox loves laying on the image, she's equally willing to reveal all. She makes and breaks all her own rules. It's Annie, not the record company, who's calling the shots.
Why don't you ever learn to keep your big mouth shut?
Sometimes we'll try to break some new ground, and we'll play the video to a record company, you know, and they'll come back and say, well, could you not just do this and that? I mean, very simple things, for example, like not lip syncing Why all the way through. It seems such a simple thing not to sing. I didn't want to sing the whole song. I didn't think it was, I thought it was too much, you know. I felt it's so strong, the song. It didn't need me to sing it, you know. It's a video, it's obvious, you know. And there was some resistance to that, you know. Not too much, because they've learnt by now not to resist me. Don't resist me.
I may be mad, I may be blind, I may be viciously unkind, but I can still read what you're thinking. And I've heard it said too many times that you'd be better off. Besides, why can't you see this boat is sinking, this boat is sinking.
When I am communicated to through music that moves me, it touches me, that inspires me, it somehow helps the quality of life. It somehow articulates things that are normally inexpressible. And yet, it seems to communicate. I mean, it's the most incredible thing that a person can go on a stage and open their mouth and create a sound that could potentially have everybody in floods of tears. That's incredible. It's very powerful.
How do you feel about having that kind of power? What do you do with it?
Well, I have a tremendous respect for it, and I have a certain awe for it. I don't think it's something that I feel too lightly about, you know. And because I believe that music is a positive, powerful force in this world. I really do.
This is the book I never read. These are the words I never said. This is the path I'll never tread. These are the dreams I'll dream instead. This is the joy that seldom spread. These are the tears we shed. This is the fear, this is the dread. These are the contents of my head. And these are the years that we've spent. And this is what they represent. And this is how I feel. Do you know how I feel? 'Cause I don't think you know how I feel. I don't think you know what I feel. I don't think you know what I feel. You don't know what I feel.
Diva has moments that do produce tears. Lennox spins a kind of melancholia throughout. More somber than any Eurythmics record, leaves me with the impression that what Dave Stewart contributed to their group was a sense of humor. Left to her own devices, Annie Lennox is more introspective, more vulnerable. That's not necessarily a bad thing. She's proving to the rock and roll world that in the right hands, pop music can be something more than shallow and commercial, that it isn't always about youth.
You see, I must say that I think this form, this cultural art form, or whatever you want to call rock music or pop music, or whatever this phenomena is still developing. And there was a time when the youth culture fascistically dictated that anybody over the age of 25 really ought to go and hang themselves or just disappear. I like the notion of a woman who is able to be her age, and I'm 37, and not pretend to be anything else. Why why pretend, you know? What's the point? I don't need to lie about that. To sort of break some of this fascistic youth thing.
Keep young and beautiful. It's your duty to be beautiful. Keep young and beautiful if you want to be loved.
I mean, I don't need to be relevant to people that are half my age. That doesn't matter. I expect people who are much younger than me to not identify with what I have to say. There'd be something wrong if they did. They have to have their own people to do, you know, to identify with.
Is there music out there for young people between 15 and 21? Something that attracts you right now?
Well, I like Nirvana a lot because I like the sort of, yeah, the kind of laissez-faire. What do I call it? A kind of abandon, yes, abandon that exists in this kind of like up yours music industry. I like that. I think it's really good, really healthy. Because I think if the generation continues into Pepsidom forever, we're really perpetually stuck, you know. It's really dangerous. I like the idea that young people are still incredibly critical and anarchic and, you know, willing to defy all the things that have been put forward to them as the status quo, you know, and to re-examine those things. I think that young people must do that, and old people must do that too.
Pay attention to me, 'cause I'm a rich white girl and it's plain to see. I got every kind of thing that the money can buy. Let me tell you all about it, let me amplify. I got diamonds, and you heard about those. I got so many that I can't close my safe at night in the dark, lying awake in the sick dream. I believe that love alone might do these things to you. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe in the power of creation. I believe in the good vibration. I believe in love alone, yeah, yeah.
Rock and roll is a tremendous kind of spinal tap mythology that has some glorious moments, you know. And I mean, I don't take the mythology of it too seriously, but I love the glorious moments, you know.
For the Journal, I'm Laurie Brown.